Let's talk about Joey Swoll, because not only is he supporting racists, he's talking like one.
You're gonna attack me, you better go after the colored athletes and the people that are black and minority that went and posted him as well.
For you to be so silly that he said colored athletes instead of athletes of color. Y'all stupid in the mud, man. This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com, TatumStore.com. Make sure you get your merch. Link is in the description section. I know y'all love this hat. That's why I wore it. So get you a hat today, TatumStore.com. Like and subscribe to the channel. Y'all already know what to do. Let's get into this. You guys have seen me go on and on and on in these past couple days about Israel and having to stand on truth on many other aspects. And it does not change when it comes to Hulk Hogan and Joey Swoll, who I'm going to talk about today. Now, this young man, and I don't know if you know him, if you see a picture of him, put the other clip up there without playing it, but this is the clip where everybody probably know who he is, right? He always is in the car. The dude got a noticeable look. He's a bodybuilder type guy, and he literally uses his platform to call out foolery at the gym.
First, let's give a shout out to all the looky-loos. And just for the record, guys, there's nothing worse than a creeper.
You can watch the full videos on her story, but she says that man is sitting behind her just so he can stare at her and do his half reps. First off, those aren't half reps. Those are good full reps. And every time you pan over to show him staring at you, he's either watching himself work out in the mirror or he's not looking at you at all.
I mean, I started following him because the stuff that he was calling out was so crazy and bizarre. I mean, literally women working out in front of the mirror and somebody walk in front of them to get a weight because they're at a public gym and they flip out on them and make Instagram videos. And so Joey Swoll seems to be, in my opinion, always standing up for truth, always doing the right thing in good faith. That's all I know this man to be. Now, I guess, and this is how I saw this video, was I was on TikTok and I was scrolling through and he was apologizing for something, which is the video that we see right here, or at least the video that you were watching. He was apologizing. And so I watched the video and he apologized for saying a word that only one group of people get mad when you say a word. So I say he must have said something that hurt black people's feelings, and he getting canceled over it. And I said to myself, I said, I can put my life on it. It wasn't that big of a deal. I put my life on it. It's not a big deal. Then he got canceled over Hulk Hogan, which I had no idea why he would get canceled and had to apologize about dressing up as Hulk Hogan and him posting it on saying RIP to Hulk Hogan. He obviously dressed up on, I think, Halloween, but he posted this to show honor and respect to Hulk Hogan. So I got to address these things. First of all, I don't think Joey Swoll is a racist. And I don't even think what he said was racist. And let's play what he said real quick, and then we'll get to Hulk Hogan. But let's put Joey Swoll on here in the context of what he said. If you can fast forward to the part where he said the colored thing, and we get to that part, then we can play it. Roll it.
Listen, I can post Hulk Hogan if I want to. Just because somebody makes a mistake in their life doesn't mean that they haven't done good things. I don't know what he did, and he said something 20 years ago and apologized for it. If you're going to attack me, you better go after the colored athletes and the people that are black and minority that went and posted him as well. Okay, the man was nice to me. He made a mistake. I'm not God. People make mistakes in life. If you got a problem with that, look at yourself. There's not one single person in here that hasn't made a mistake in their life.
So, as you can imagine, they go, colored. Let me tell you how stupid this is. Now, when I heard him say it, I didn't think none of it. To be honest, if I was just listening to it, I wouldn't even caught what he said. But since there was a controversy, now I realize what he said. Do you know how stupid you have to be offended at a guy who has never done anything racist that I have ever seen on any of his platforms ever? He has advocated and been supportive of black people just as well as white people. To see him, for you to be so silly that he said colored athletes instead of athletes of color. Y'all stupid in the mud, man. I'm not trying to be, but like, really? Like, that really offended you? You really got offended because you heard a white dude say colored athletes instead of athletes of color. What is the difference? Color is still in the word. And because it's something that's outdated or antiquated or you think that's offensive, when y'all mother call each other the N-word every day, y'all don't have no problem with Mexicans saying the N-word, Black people saying the N-word. Your favorite artists say the N-word. Y'all say the N-word every day. And you white folks that's acting like y'all hurt by this, y'all listen to your friends say the N-word, and you know you feel uncomfortable when they say it, but you let them say it anyway. And you offended by colored athletes instead of athletes of color. That to me is just he misspoke. That man, and then he had to come and apologize, which I feel like he never should have. But I don't know what it's like to be a white man and can speak the English language, because there is no difference. And if you translated colored person, a person of color in another language, there would be no difference. A person would think you would be speaking semantics for you to act like there's a difference. And then the funny thing is that it don't affect your life whatsoever with somebody saying that. He didn't say the N-word, bro. If he said N with the hard R, then I can see people saying, bro, wait a minute, bro. That's kind of obviously a term that is going to conjure up a problem. Now, I don't think you should cancel him, and he can say whatever you want to say. It's America. But I think that the backlash, I'd say, okay, that makes sense. But colored athletes versus athletes of color, that's what is he supposed to say? Now, how do you say athletes that are not white without saying black, Hispanic, Native, Indian? He said persons of colored athletes of color. Now, let's listen to his apology. And if I was his PR person, I'd say, bro, no, let me say this. I don't like that he had to apologize, but I do believe that there's nothing wrong with him apologizing. Let me just say it like that. Let me not be superfluous. Because he did articulate that he didn't mean nothing by it. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I'm sorry that people were offended by what I said. Like, I don't think there's a problem when somebody do that. You cannot be wrong, but apologize for offending people, if that's what you feel like you've done. Because if I got on here and called somebody a hamburger heifer and some women were legitimately offended, or I said the N-word and people are legitimately offended, like, Brandon, I'm offended that you cussed or you did it on the platform. Like, it's okay to say, well, I didn't really mean it that way. So let me call and say, I'm sorry if it offended you. Here's what I meant. I'm not a person or whatever. I don't hate women or whatever the case may be. I think it's fine. So let's listen to his apology. Then we're going to get to the Hulk Hogan side of it, because he also apologized for dressing up or showing him being dressed up as Hulk Hogan the day Hulk Hogan died. Roll the clip.
I owe my followers, my community, and all of social media an apology. A few days ago, I reposted an old video of me in the gym wearing a Hulk Hogan.
I forgot he said all of that. You really only owe people who you care about an apology. You don't not owe all of social media, because people with a connected, rational brainstem were not offended. Roll the clip.
Halloween costume on the day that he passed. Last night in my live stream, a lot of people expressed how upset and frustrated they were with me that I had posted that. Instead of listening and understanding like I should have, I became defensive and said that I was posting to celebrate the wrestling icon, the person that so many of us looked up to as kids, that we grew up with, that made us tear our shirts and take our vitamins and say our prayers. I didn't know to the extent of all the horrible things that he had done. Since last night, I have done a lot of research, talked to a few people, and learned all of the horrible things that man has done, which is way more than just making a mistake and being human. So because of that, I have taken the videos down, and I apologize to anybody that I offended. I am sorry. Also, during last night's live stream, I used the word colored instead of saying person of color, which is a very outdated, very offensive term. A few moments later, somebody educated me and told me that it wasn't okay to use that, which I immediately apologized to everyone and said I would never do that again. So once again, to anybody that I offended, I am sorry. You know, my whole page, my whole brand is based on holding people accountable.
I think I heard enough. Now, I listened to this yesterday, and like after watching it again, I'm like, I don't know if I even like that. I don't know if I like that. You would never hear me apologize like for something like that. Like, because I thought about it before I posted it, and if I posted it, it's because I believed in it. And I'm not finna change because y'all get offended by stuff. Hulk Hogan. Let's go to Hulk Hogan real quick. Now, I don't know Hulk Hogan to be a bad person, because all I know of Hulk Hogan was Hulk Hogan when he was wrestling. I never gave a what Hulk Hogan did when he wasn't wrestling. Because when he wasn't wrestling, he wasn't Hulk Hogan. So I only liked Hulk Hogan as the wrestler, as the persona. And I thought he was great. I love Hulk Hogan to this day. I still think Hulk Hogan's a legend. Now, I guess I had to Google this because he said some racial slurs and mentioned that he didn't want his daughter dating a black guy. And then, of course, he cheated on his wife with his daughter's friend or something like that, which at the end of the day, he's still a human. And I don't think a person should be, their whole life should be destroyed and everything they did great should be all taken away because they said a word, had an opinion, and cheated on somebody. I'm not an advocate of cheating, but bruh, do you know how many people we couldn't support? Even in the Bible, if you talk about cheating on somebody. I mean, King David was he was a rolling stone for a minute there, getting people killed so he go sleep with Bathsheba. I mean, you can't get no worse than they got a person killed so he can smash his wife. You can't even like him. You can't like Noah. You can't like, I could probably go down the list if I do a little more research. Probably 5 other men in the Bible you can't like no more because they didn't cheated or did something weird with some women. So I don't want to hear that, bruh. Hulk Hogan, in my personal opinion, is the Hulk Hogan that I knew growing up as a kid before I realized wrestling was fake. And I thought he was great for the sport. He made it to the Hall of Fame. I guess they took his Hall of Fame and they gave it back to him once he apologized. But for y'all to still be offended because this man said some racial stuff at some point, when y'all dirty be saying stuff behind closed doors, and if it ever came to light, you be in trouble too. The most people that offended are the people that say racist stuff themselves. I put my life on it. Wrote a clip.
So there's a point where I wrote a book with my son, where they've been hanging out, I call them holding hands together on the tour, they were getting close to the time before I'm doing something good. I'm not a double standard type guy, I'm a racist to a point. Yeah. When it comes to nice people, we all are that way. Yeah, like when it comes to nice people, you can't say.
All right, I think that's all the clip. Now, this is the thing. This is how I feel, man. People need to stop having a double standard when it comes to outrage. A person is entitled to not like people and not like their daughter being with certain people. And the man did it, I don't know how many years ago, and he come out and apologize about it. Let it go. There's plenty of time when I was growing up, if I had not gotten saved and somebody recorded me when I was younger, I said, I ain't never bringing a white girl home. Y'all ain't never gonna see me dating a white girl. And we would make fun of black dudes that dated white women. You a sellout Uncle Tom. Now, I'm grown now, and I realized, and I got saved and everything, and I was racist. That was stupid. I was ignorant. And so I'm not holding him to account, and I don't hold myself to the same standards. I don't think people should be like, well, Brandon used to be like this, and he got to be that same person for the rest of his life. Nah, man, the Lord. Now, certain stuff you do, there's consequences that are residual. But if you feel a certain way and you change the way you feel, there's nothing wrong with people saying, yeah, I understand. People are ignorant, or people say ignorant things, or people believe certain things that they don't no longer believe. And if every single person that's mad had never changed their beliefs on anything, then you could be mad. But most of y'all still feel some type of way. And does that bother me that Hulk Hogan said that? No, it doesn't bother me whatsoever. I don't care. I'm not close to Hulk Hogan. And the funny thing is that if that bother me, then I know a whole bunch of other people that only want their daughters and their sons to marry black people. I know a whole bunch of people that only want their sons and their daughters to marry Jewish people. I know a whole bunch of Mexicans that don't want their kids marrying outside of their own race. I think it's ignorant, but people feel that way, and quit acting like it's so bizarre for people to feel that way. People do. They may not say it. They didn't get caught on a hidden camera, but they believe it. And it's not just white. It's white, it's black, it's you, it's other people. At some point in your life, you had opinion, you felt a certain way. And so that's why I don't feel like Joey Swoll should have apologized unless unless he feel like the man really racist. Don't apologize to people just because you get backlash. And so that's all I say. We played that apology video, and I wouldn't apologize, man. Look, I said the wrong word. I'm sorry that you offended, but I went and did research, and I talked to other people who informed me that what I said was, nah, bruh. I mean, y'all got to stop getting mad over words. I've seen people say the N-word before, and people say the N-word. Let me give y'all an example real quick, and I'm gonna move on so I don't belabor the point. You go to a Travis Scott concert. It's another dude. He was viral, and it was like a little meme where it says when he found out he was really him. That man had 50,000 white people in the crowd saying the N-word, singing to his song. And did you think he got up and got mad? But let a white person be driving in their car on Instagram and sing the same song that you see going viral on TikTok at that same artist's concert. This person would be canceled, but all the people at the concert is making him money, so it's okay.